Hey guys, so this is kind of inspired by what John Campea did recently, about a couple of days ago. He did a house tour that he promised a lot of people he was going to do once he and his wife Ann settled in a bit in the new house that they moved into about a month ago. And that kind of inspired me to do one too. But the difference between me and him is this is going to be unlisted and it's going to be partially a Patreon exclusive, if you will. And what that means basically is only those on Patreon, mostly the $3 and up, will be able to see this. And what I mean by partial though, I'm also talking about it will be seen in other areas, mostly like with DeviantArt. I'll link it there through a submission and all that. And maybe even like some other places that I know I could trust and everything. So without further ado, though, guys, let's get started. And again, this is a Patreon, a partial Patreon exclusive video, which will also be seen by others down the line. So without further ado, guys, let's get started, shall we? Okay, so when you walk in, one of the things that you'll first see is this. My mom got this from my older sister, and she put it here because, again, when you walk in, you'll be able to see this and read it as well. So that's a pretty nice little thing that she decided to do there. And then, of course, we got a little table here, like a little memorial table with my grandparents' picture, so that when you walk in, you could see. So when people walk in, they could see them too, and they could say good morning to them and all that. And then over here, of course, is the living room as well. As you can see, we have the couch here. This couch, actually, of course, we had in the other big living room in the other house. And we had to go through the garage with most of it to bring it over to here. When we did a tour of this house to see what we could put somewhere before we got it, we pretty much knew and agreed that the couch would go here. The couch that was in the living room would go here, and that's what happened. And then, of course, my mom brought this chair with her. This chair used to be, I think, in her room, and then she just brought it out to here to be in here. Mostly everything she had in that living room is out here now. But there's some big differences. Like, for example, we don't have the big, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't have the big multimedia center anymore. The multimedia center we used to have used to be like when we had the smaller TV. And since we got the big one, we ended up getting, of course, that stand back when we lived in Thoroughbred. And then we put the multimedia one in the dining room. And then we gave that away. So that's about it. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the living room. Of course, we have our movies over there. We got to get another like multimedia center to a little bit bigger to put them in and everything. But so far, everything is pretty good. That's pretty much about it for the living room and everything. Mostly there are some things, like I said, that were moved into the living room area that used to be like in the rec room area and all that. Not rec room area, but the dining room area, I should say. They got moved into the living room area because, of course, there is no dining room area here. So with that said, let's continue on. Okay, so this is we're coming into the kitchen now. And just like when you walk into the house, my mom put a picture here of the Last Supper. Very similar to what my pastor has and all that, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we got this here. This used to be like when we were in the other house, it was like right on the border of the living room and the kitchen. So basically, when you would come in, when you would like right here would be like the ending of it. So it would be like right here. It would be like right here, and this would be the ending of it. But we've decided to put it into the kitchen instead because it's a lot easier. And then the bench here with my dog's food and water under it. The bench here used to be in the dining room in a corner to where we put like presents or whatever extra stuff we had on the side. But we've got it in here in the kitchen now. And the same with the kitchen, same with the dining room table as well. It's also here in the kitchen, you know, because of course there's no dining room. And then of course we have the kitchen here. The fridge over there was actually given to us by my older sister. She actually got that for free. It's smaller than the one that was in the other house and everything because, of course, that fridge in the other house came with the house. So that was different. And then over here we have a pantry cabinet, cupboard, I should say, pantry cupboard, if you will, with stuff in it and everything. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, not too bad. you know, we have a microwave. We bought the microwave and everything, as well as the Kurgan machine over there. So that's all I'm doing. Everything else is pretty good. And then over here, just real quickly, this is something that's really neat as well. This is actually a turner. This thing actually turns, both of them turn, you know, all the way, so that it gives you a little bit more room for whatever, you know, it gives you a little bit more room, I should say, for like storage and all that. But everything else, pretty cool, pretty neat and everything. And that's all I can say about the kitchen. So without further ado, guys, let's continue moving on. Okay, so this is the hallway. And real quickly, if you were to picture the hallway going towards the rec room and my mom's room in the old house, because my room was like on the other side, it'd be like on this side of the house a little bit. So, or basically it'd be like you're going down the hallway from the rec room, and then you're turning this way towards like where I would, or where I would be. But anyway, picture basically that hallway going towards the rec room and all that, in my mom's room. She used to have stuff up here. She would have something like right here. Well, here's the thing, real quickly. She doesn't have anything up there right now, and I'll explain later as to why. But anyway, this is the hallway. And the only thing we've had fixed so far here in the hallway is that light at the end, because the lights that came with this are LED lights. Yeah, the LED lights, and you need somebody to come in that knows what they're doing to fix them. So we had to get the maintenance guy in here, and he had to fix this because this is completely finally burned out. So we had to get us that light, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is the hallway here. And everything, which is really nice. And then as we, I'll show you that in a moment. But, you know, of course, in the middle here is the two bedrooms, my bedroom and the guest room. And then, of course, we have a hall closet with stuff, so not too bad. But let's take a look at the rooms now, shall we? Okay, so this is the guest room. Of course, I've done some videos in here before, so if it looks familiar, obviously it is. Let me clean up the blurriness here for a bit, guys. Sorry. There we go. But anyway, this is the rec room. One thing about this house that is really interesting is all the closets have a mirror closet, so you could see your reflection in the mirror when you're changing and all that. But this is basically a mini rec room, guest room, if you will. Basically, it's set up very similar to the other one. The only difference, like I said, is it's smaller. And if we were to basically bring anything into here, like if we were to put like a futon or anything, like my older sister, she put a futon and everything in her former daughter's room, my former niece's room over there, for anybody to, you know, sleep on or rest on or whatever. Mostly for her and her fiance, my niece and her fiance to rest on. So if we would ever decide to do something like that here, mostly, I think what I've been picturing is we move this possibly to either my room or somewhere around here that's gonna give a little bit more room. We could put a futon like right there, but who knows? But again, like I said, this is smaller than the original rec room, and it's basically smaller than the original guest room. So it's like a mini guest room, rec room, like I said. And then over here is my room. Of course, I did my room tour on it. The only minor change is, of course, I changed out the sheets here and everything. So that's about it. Everything else is pretty much the same, you know. Of course, I have John Campea on there. John Campea, of course, did like I said, a video tour of his house. In fact, I'll show you what I mean. It's right here. He did this. He posted this 2 days ago. This is John Campea's. I think he posted that 2 days ago, so you know that's kind of what inspired me to do this. But again, like I said, this is a Patreon exclusive, well, partial Patreon exclusive house tour, because of course if it's a public one, you know, I won't hear the end of it. But anyway, yeah, like I said, this is my room. Not much has changed in there since everything is, you know, since I got the new bed and everything. But yeah, pretty cool and everything. So yeah, it's really nice. Then in here, I'm just going to do this real quickly. This is the master bedroom. This is my mom's room. That's all I'm going to say. And this is why I'm also doing looking at the floor. because of her stuff. And then in here is her bathroom. It connects. This is why she has the master bedroom. It connects to the bathroom and everything. And she's got a master closet and all that. So, you know, this is basically hers. This is basically hers. And I know some people might ask, well, why didn't you get it? You got most stuff. Or you got a lot of stuff. Basically, long story short, she's the one that mostly pays the rent, even though we're both on the lease, if you will. She mostly pays the rent. So the rule is, and this is true, the person that pays the rent is the person that gets the perks, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, she's got the master bedroom. Then here is the other hallway in junction to this one, but it's a mini hallway into the laundry section. And these are our laundry machines. Well, one payment away. My mom's lease is one payment away from us completely owning these. And these are computerized smart ones. And basically what they do is they sense, like with the washing machine, it will sense basically, you know, your load. It'll sense, you know, how much you have in there. It'll balance it, you know, and all that. It will figure things out. Same with the dryer. Like, for example, if you have it like on a certain setting and you know that setting's not going to do it, it'll automatically sense that and be like, nope, that's not going to work. We're going to go a little longer. And it does that. So those are ours. And then right there, I want you to notice something right there. That is a water sprinkler. That's a fire sprinkler. That basically is in case any fires break out, that thing will automatically go on. And then over here is my bathroom. This is my bathroom, of course. And the one thing that's very similar to me and my mom's is, you know, we only have two of these lights on, these two automatic lights on, because of the fact that, you know, we don't want to waste energy and all that. And then, of course, just like with the hall light, I had to get mine replaced as well, just like my mom had to get hers replaced. So it's pretty cool. It's really nice. Ice and everything, so... you know, that's mine right there. And then this is the garage. I've been doing some videos, like when I walk around, I do them when it's dark and I'm turning on the lights and everything. This is the garage basically, and long story short, we haven't, you know, gotten to everything yet, which is why it's all like this right now. But I've always had this picture in my mind, and I think my mom's been thinking the same thing, that when we do get the opportunity to clean all this up, look through all this, that basically one section of the closet is going to be my side and the other section is going to be her side, so that if we do need to get to stuff, we'll know where to get it, because we'll have a section to ourselves and it'll be organized and all that. But yeah, this is just, you know, this is still in the works, if you will. And again, the big difference, I should say, as to why we're not in a hurry is because we have a smaller house and we don't have that much, you know, much room to put anything, you know, for the time being. You know, like these tables here, we could put, you know, in the backyard, but along with the umbrella, but then, you know, how are we going to get them back in? You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, that door right there leads into part of the backyard, basically. It's like when you want to open it, it leads you into the dirt part of the backyard. Then, of course, this is the backyard. You may have seen me do a lot of videos recently. Where I talk about things just walking around here in the backyard, like with recently when I talked about the Peacock WWE deal, the update on that. Well, this is basically what the backyard looks like here. So it's bigger than our old backyard, which is pretty cool. On this side, of course, is, you know, some, you know, a little dirt and all that. This what is it, this rain tree or whatever is this, I can't even think of it right now. The rain tree, we call it the rain tree or whatever it is. We had that at Patterson. My mom uprooted it, brought it here because, you know, she got it when it was smaller. She planted it right there, and it just went rooted right through the pot into the ground completely, and it just blew up. It just grew. So even if anything was to happen to where we'd have to move, she'd probably have to leave that here. And then, of course, we got stuff here, just our plants, little wired fencing. And the reason we got the wired fencing is because, as you notice over here, basically my mom had to put some more fencing. And the reason she did that was mostly because our neighbors have dogs. And since we have a dog, they were digging through the underneath, or they were digging underneath the fence to come into the yard to try to probably get to our dog, you know. So, you know, we had to let them know about that, and thankfully they took care of it. But also she put those up as a precaution. Then over here we used to have like a pine tree that was sticking up, you know, under the fence. So we had the maintenance guy, when he came to take care of some stuff, he cut that down. So that's gone. And then the rest of these are my mom's plants that she could plant into the ground, but she won't, because, you know, she doesn't want to risk the chance that if, you know, we have to end up moving down the line, which hopefully won't be for a long time. She'll have to unplant them. She doesn't want to do that, so she's just going to leave them like that for the time being until I think she feels more comfortable about, you know, planting them. And then, of course, like I said, this is just the yard and everything. And then over here is the other side of the house with more dirt and everything. And that's the pine tree that recently got trimmed and everything. So, you know, because it used to loop down, it used to kind of droop down a little bit. So one of the inspectors that came one day noticed that and said that needs to be taken care of. So the maintenance guy took care of it, and it looks a lot better. Because one of the drooping down branches had like a rope. So it was like, well, where did that come from? So yeah, it was like, you know, why did they leave that there? But, you know, besides that, everything else is good. That's all a little rock right there because, you know, we have a water system there. We don't want nobody messing with it. But yeah, everything else looks pretty good. You know, everything else is, you know, pretty much, you know, what you would expect in a backyard. Like I said, it's a lot bigger than our last one. And so it gives the kids, when there's no minefields or landmines, if you will, as we like to call them, by my dog, you know, in the yard, it'll give like the kids, if they come over and all that, a chance to walk around and play and do stuff like that. So pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much the backyard and everything. Okay guys, so that's basically the tour of the house, you know, for this partial Patreon exclusive video. And when I talk about partial, I'm talking about the fact that it's also going to be linked up in places that I know I could trust, that when I show it to them, when I show it to them, you know, they'll enjoy seeing a house tour, because who doesn't like a house tour? Whether you're renting or you're buying or whatever the case may be. But, you know, just to answer one question as well, I'm pretty sure you've noticed that when I showed you the living room and I showed you other parts of the house, that there wasn't much hung up, you know, like picture-wise and all that. And the reason being, basically, long story short, is when we moved from our old house in Patterson to here, it put a lot of stress on my mom, because of the fact that she wasn't expecting that. You know, we had spent basically about a decade, almost a decade in that house, and she wasn't expecting that. It's like it suddenly just came out of nowhere. It's like a punch. It's like a big old punch to the gut, because the landlord just decided, oh, I'm going to, you know, sell the house, and, you know, because I need the money to send my daughter to college and all that. And my mom gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was telling the truth. But I think nowadays, the more she thinks about it, you know, she's starting to be very, like, reluctant. Like, now she's starting to feel that maybe he didn't tell her the whole truth. Like, maybe there was more to it. But anyway, you know, he did give us an opportunity to buy the house, but we just couldn't. And the moment my mom said we couldn't do that, that's when all of a sudden he decided to give us this limit of, okay, you got to get out of the house. And it basically put a lot of stress on her, to where she had to take down a lot of pictures that she had hung up, a lot of decorations, pictures she had hung up, and she had to end up packing those away, which is why she's very reluctant to, you know, bring them out and hang them up again, because, you know, she doesn't want to risk the chance that what happened before will happen again, potentially, which I don't think it will. I think what's going to happen, you know, it's going to, I guess, give her more insurance, more comfort to be able to do this kind of stuff, is after we reach 5 years at the end of October, that's when we'll probably start seeing my mom put more pictures up, because she'll feel more comfortable, because we've at least been here about half a decade by that time. But yeah, that's why, you know, she's, you know, that's why you don't see many pictures in the living room or anything like that, or in the house that much, except for certain places like here in the guest room and even in my room, if you will. Okay guys, so yeah, thank you all for watching this. This is again a partial Patreon exclusive video. And again, like I said, as I mentioned, This is mainly going to be a video that's going to be seen through the Patreon supporters, as well as in areas that I know people will enjoy watching these kind of things. And also the other reason I'm doing it this way is because if I go public with it, I will not hear the end of it, I'll put it that way. And if I do choose to go public with it, it's going to be just like with some videos I had done like back in 2012 and 2011. I'm just gonna bide my time and wait until the time is right to do it, because I know when enough time has passed, I won't get, you know, in that much, I won't get that, I basically won't, you know, hear the end of it, if you will. I'll basically, you know, kind of be more in the clear because enough time had passed and no one's really going to say anything. So, but anyway, I just wanted to, like I said, do this little overdue house tour. Again, Patreon exclusive, partial Patreon exclusive for the time being, and as well as also exclusive to those places that I know people will enjoy watching this. And let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'm out.